In this video, I'll show you how to use date filters within your liquid code. Now, basically, date filter allow you to format the date time values. You can perform various date time operations on your date time value variable. Date filters can be used to perform arithmetic operations on the date time field. Now, these are some of the syntax which we are going to use within our demonstration. So that's date add days, date add hours, date add minutes, date add months, date add seconds, date add years, date in ISO 8601 format, and date in RFC 822 format. So let's jump into the demo. This is a simple Power Pages page which I have created named as December, and it has just a simple text called as date filter. Now, if I want to liquid code, then I will click on edit code, and then that will take me to the Visual Studio Code over here. And then in the H3, I have the date filter. Now, just to start with, we are operating on date components. So in order to make use of those date components, what we are going to do now is first understand how do we render the date. Okay, so the simple thing you need to render a date is by using the liquid tag, and you just put something called as now. So I'll just save this now. So it's a simple text now, and it will render the current date time. So I just need to sync, and then once that is synced, I should be able to see the output. Now remember, this is like it will display the current date and time. It won't refresh it, but then the moment that code runs, so this is the moment the code runs, it will give me the current date and time. Now at my place, it's 10 a.m., but then this is taking from the UTC time. So that's why it's showing me 12:11 a.m. At my place, it is 10:11 a.m. So this is showing me the UTC value, date filter. Now, this is how you basically render the date. Now, there is another way through which you can render the date. So let's do one thing. If I just type in double quotes today, and I'll just save this. Let's see what we get this as an output. So let's click on sync. Now, as you see over here, it has given me the string as today, right? So it has given me the string as today. So we have just typed in double quotes today. Now let me do one thing. Let me put a break, like couple of breaks in all the statements so that all the outputs are displayed one after another in a separate line. Okay, so we have put today in double quotes. Now we're going to copy this again, and I'm going to just use a filter. So I'll just use a filter, and this time I'll just say date, and I will put a small g. Okay, similarly, I have this now. I'll just copy this, and again for this now, I'm going to put a filter, and here I'm going to put the filter date colon, and let me put a big G. Okay, save this. So sync. So as you see over here, the first one is giving me the now. It is giving me the complete date time. And now the third and the fourth item which we have written, it has given me the date time with no seconds in it. And here I have seconds in it. Now the only difference between these two items is I have used a small g and a big G. But there is another thing which I have made, like as you see here in the double quotes I have put today, right? Now, if you see here in the double quotes I have put today, if I put today, it will automatically display just a text today. But then if you use filter against that keyword, then you will be able to take this operation and execute as if it's a now operation. Okay, so there is a possibility that you can use the string. So that's a reserved keyword which you can use, and then you can use filter to generate various format. Now, there are other formats which we can use to render the date time. Now, from where do we get this format? G, all those things, G, F, or whatever is the format. So here, if you navigate to learn.microsoft.com from .NET Standard Base Type Standard Date Time and Format String, Microsoft has nicely documented this date time format. So as you see over here, if you put a D, small d, it is a short date pattern. If you put a long d, it's a long date pattern. So won't have time component in it. The thing which we used is G and capital G, which is a general date time pattern, short time and long time. So we can make use of D, D, F, F. So if you want the date in this format, then I can do use F, F as well. So F small is full date time pattern, short time, and capital F full date time pattern, long time. So let's attempt that. So we'll make use of the now keyword. Now I'll just copy 4 times. Now, the thing which we are going to use is this first is a small d, and then we are going to use a big D. And the other thing which we are going to use is F, a small f and a capital F. So small d, capital D, small f, capital F, and this G we have already seen it, right? So this is here. Yep. So with the help of this filtering, we can change the date time format, and we can use various date time format representation as you see over here. And once this syncs up, I'll show you the output. But continuing over here, now apart from setting up the format, we can do other things as well. We can basically use date time to add days. So one example would be, so I'll put in double braces, I use now, put a filtering component, and say date underscore add underscore days, and you specify how many days you want to add. So I want to add maybe 3 days. So currently today is 30th of December. So if I add 3 days, the output should be 31st, 1 and 2. So 2nd Jan 2025, right? So I'll just save this, sync it, and if I just refresh this, I will be able to see the previous value for, say, this is the output which I got. So Monday December 30, 2024, Monday December 30, 2024, 12:17 a.m., and these are the two things. Okay, so just to show you what did I write, so small d, capital D, small f, capital F, small d, capital D, small f, capital F. The only difference is it comes with a second. So F comes with, so as you see over here, if I see F, it says full date time, and that's why time is coming up with F. And we have used D, and that's why it's a short date pattern. It will just output this, and long date pattern will give you the day of the week, the month, the date, and the year. And this is what is shown over here. Now, if I refresh it again, I should be able to see the output 1 to 2025. Now that means it's the 2nd Jan 2025. Now today is 30th of December. I have added 3 days to it, and that's why it is 2nd of Jan, right? So we can use date underscore add days to add date. Now similarly, I will just use now, and now I'm gonna use hours. So I'll say date underscore add underscore hours colon, maybe I'll add 2 hours. Okay, And this is how you add hours. Now, what if I want to add minutes? Yes, that's also simple. So you just say now date underscore add underscore minutes, and I'm gonna add 10 minutes. And let me show you now as well over here so that you don't get confused. So yep, so let me add now, and let me add this br everywhere so that we segregate this output. So now shown over here, and we are adding days, we are adding hours, we are adding minutes, and we can even add other components, which is a month. So what if I want to add a month? So again, simple syntax. Now we put one filter, sorry, I've added two filter over here, and here also date underscore add underscore month colon, and say I'll add 3 month, and then it will show me March. And we can also add seconds. So I'll just add another thing, add underscore seconds. So, and I'll add 10 seconds to it, right? And this is how you basically do the state operations, right? So I'll just add this br again, run this, sync this up. So what we have done, I've shown you there are a couple of things which we added. We can add days, we can add hours, minutes, months, and seconds. So as you see over here, the first one, this is we are adding this is date time dot now, so 12:21:16 a.m. And then I have added days, 3 days I have added. So 3 days will amount to 1 2, that's on the 2nd of the Jan. Then I've added 2 hours. So if I go to 2 hours, so as you see over here, 12 plus 2 is 2:21 a.m. That's why I'm adding 2 hours. And here I'm adding 10 minutes. So 2 12:21 is a base. If I'm adding 10 minutes, so it says 12:31 as an output. And then we have add months. For 3 months I'm adding. So as you see over here, it is saying 30th of the 3rd. So 30th March 2025. So adding 3 months to the current date time. Then we have adding 10 seconds. So if you see, this is 12:21:16 is the second, and then here is 12:21:26, and we can add 10 seconds or whatever seconds we want. Similarly, I can put a negative value as well and then get that appropriate deduction from the current date time. Now, there are other formats which we can use. So there are a couple of formats. One is ISO and second is RFC. So just to show you how that can be rendered, so you put in now, and then you say you want this to be in the format of date to ISO 8601. So date to ISO 8601. And the next format uh, is RFC. So now date underscore to underscore RFC 822. So, and I'll copy this now as well just to show you what are the three distinction between these three components. So let me add a p tag just to show that distinction. So first is now, then we have date to ISO 8601, then we have RFC 822 date format. So I'll just save this, and this is the last segment of this particular video. So basically you can use this date filter to perform all those date operation, like if you want to add a date or remove, or like say see the past date or the present date, or operate on the current date, date times for scheduling activity, for showing the event date time. So these filters will help you manipulate the date time values. So as you see over here, the first one is the now. So this will give you in a now format. This is ISO 8601 format. Now the only difference or the major difference is basically it starts with YYYMDD, then puts a T symbol, then the R minute second, and then put a Z at the end. Whereas RFC 822 format will give you the day of the week, comma, DD, mon, YYYY, then R minute second, and then with the space and Z in it. So whatever format you want to choose, you can choose, and then you can display the date within your Power Pages site with the help of Liquid Filter. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.